to Uncommon Courtesy.
We give you the courtesy of conversation.
That's uncommonly spoke of.
I'm D-Mac.
I'm Wesley.
And this is the show. How you doing today?
I'm pretty good, man. Pretty good.
Congratulations on your weight loss. I saw your head lost 2 centimeters. This guy been roasting me off camera the whole time. He called me fat in 10 different ways.
I didn't call him fat. Don't let him get the lying to you.
He called me fat, obese, overweight. It's like, why are you breathing like that? Says I huff donuts. He was really going in. If I had feelings, I would have felt bad. I told this man, I said I know 4 fat people, and he's 3 of them. So I got back.
Hey, well, we appreciate y'all, man. Welcome to the show. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, hit that notification button. We love the fact you guys have been subscribing to the channel. You guys have been watching. We really appreciate it. I think we're to almost about 400,000 views right now. So
something like that. Yeah, we love it all. The hate, the love,
everything.
The questioning.
Keep bringing it.
Yeah.
And also, shout out to
shout out to Crime Scene Seasoning. DocLovesTheKids.org. Y'all can check that out. Get you a box. It goes to the community and less fortunate.
Absolutely.
And, breaking news, man.
Breaking news,
Joe
man.
Biden.
Hey, Biden breaks silence after stepping down from the 2024 race. Joe Biden stepped down. After President Joe Biden's decision to drop out of the 2024 presidential race on Sunday, Vice President Kamala Harris has emerged as the party favorite to replace him at the top of the ticket. Biden endorsed Harris on Sunday, and then many others in the Democratic Party are backing her as well. But just a few months before the November 5th election, all eyes are on Democrats as they work to lock in a candidate. It was kind of a...
Well, they locked in a candidate, but I mean, like, it was stunning because, I mean, there were so many people calling for him to drop out. Well, not so many. Just, like, people that, like, Adam Schiff, who was it, George Clooney? You know, and then, like, he was... I mean, it was... He was
Barack Obama.
Yeah.
You had a lot of people. I mean, eventually even...
Did Barack come out?
Barack said that he said that it basically his path to the presidency had become very, very difficult. He didn't want to. I mean, that's his boy right there. That's his guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's his boy.
However you want to take it, man. He helped Barack get to the White House his first time around.
Yeah.
So however you want to look at it, they had 8 years together. They served as president and vice president. He gave him his best job he ever had. You know what I mean? So, and he looked out for him. I'm assuming over these last 4 years, he's also looked out for him a lot too. If you look how much this president has been as closely. I ever seen a president walk as closely to another president. Bless you.
Thank you.
As you have, we've seen Obama with Biden. We all know Biden's had some mental. I won't say mental. I just say just physical decline. I mean, he's getting older, but he's done a hell of a job during his presidency. Now, I've talked about this already. I really want to give kudos to Biden for everything that he has done. People are going to say, "Oh, you guys are crazy," or "I'm crazy," whatever. We can talk numbers. We don't have to talk like in terms of just insults. We can talk real numbers. We can look at jobs numbers. We can look at where our stock market is.
Oh, he gave them he protected the Asian Pacific Islander community with the hate crime bill.
I mean, he's also done a lot for the black community too. You know,
he didn't give him one of those.
I mean, at the end of the day.
Oh yeah, and also he's getting rid of Newport cigarettes. Bye, Joe. Peace.
Joe's done a great job. Don't listen to this, man. Newport cigarettes probably need to be gone. Menthol cigarettes probably
they should get rid of all cigarettes.
I mean, we didn't do that too. I'm good with that. I don't smoke, so it doesn't really matter to me. But when we look at the true facts of what's going on, America is now a major player in the chip making industry yet again. You know, we actually have a lot of plants being built right now. I've driven by and seen a bunch of them down in Arizona myself. They're humongous. They're like I couldn't even imagine. I couldn't even tell you how big the lots are that these things are being built on. I think it's Taiwan Semiconductors building them out here. It's going to create tens of thousands of new jobs down in Arizona, which they're giving 6-figure jobs to people who don't even have college educations. That's great, for our manufacturing market. I think they're building 4 new plants over there. So he's done a lot, man. The infrastructure project that he got through, biggest I think so. I want to say since it's either Eisenhower or Roosevelt, one of the two. I think he had like a $1.7 trillion infrastructure bill that he also put in place. So he's done a lot. Over 800,000 manufacturing jobs brought back to America. I mean, you kind of got to look at him and give him his props for what he's done, man.
Do you feel Democrats eat their own?
I feel people eat their own.
Someone posted, someone's like, "Yo, Democrats want to fall in love," and they said Republicans fall in line.
I don't know about that one. You look at where the Republicans just were a minute ago. They've been going through House speakers like it's Right on
That's
right.
House speech. I'm talking like presidential and stuff. Like I just watched the video from Donald Trump RNC speech where there was a good 3 minutes where he didn't even say a coherent.
This is not
sentence.
Republicans anymore. This is MAGA party. This is not a Republican party any longer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Republicans voted for Nikki Haley. MAGA votes for Donald Trump. Donald Trump has his own subsect of people who try to be, we're not Republicans. They'll get mad at Fox News if they tell the truth. You know what I mean? They don't. So I think it's totally different. This isn't me talking negatively about MAGA people, but I would love to have a factual debate about your president versus Joe Biden. I just really would. The numbers don't bear out, and don't try to say to me, "Oh well, that's COVID." I mean, are we going to say take away 9/11 from George Bush? Are we going to take away the housing crisis from George Bush? And he's probably one of the best presidents we ever had too.
Yeah.
If we do that, we always take away the worst.
The bird flu. Obama had the bird flu.
H1N1.
Yeah, H1N1.
Now we take away all these different things away from anyone. They're a great president. What determines a great president? Because most people don't remember the presidents who didn't go through anything at all. What determines a great president? Like you look at Roosevelt. You know what I mean? So what he dealt with World War II. This guy was president for 4 terms. He got elected 4 times. That's how much the people loved him. He brought us not only out of World War II, he also dealt with the Great Depression. He had 2 major things that were way bigger than COVID. Way bigger. The Great Depression, which crashed the entire market. I think 25% or more of our people were out of work. And this was really out of work. It wasn't like COVID out of work. We can pay you, but you just had a job and we're paying you to work. It's like these people are done. There's not such a worldly market like it is now where things need to be moved around and goods and services are needed to be done at such a pace like it is nowadays. Is different. He had to figure out, okay, we need to build highways. We need to build like dams, like roadways, all kind of stuff. He got people back to work. He dealt with those problems. Everyone looks at him and says, we love the way he dealt with the problem, not the fact that we want to take the Great Depression. He came into office during this. We can't blame him for that. No one does that. But you guys love to do it for Donald Trump. I know I kind of went on.
Yeah, they like to say that. Oh, he got a great economy. No, he had an economy Obama left him.
He had a great.
And I always say that all the time.
Economy.
The first 2 years you're in office, you're still living off the policies of the last president. That's why there was like Joe Biden, everything's raising up. No, that was going to happen if Trump would have got reelected anyways.
I mean, how it boils down to it, like, I mean, yeah, it was going to come back up, but the way he was able to deal with the problem, he not only he brought us out of the COVID market. But out of the COVID economy, but at the same time, we have to also remember he dealt with higher interest rates. Every president since basically Obama had low interest rates his whole presidency. That makes it easier because banks can lend much easier. Housing market makes the economy look great when that's going on. When lending can happen at such a low rate. On top of that, Trump had low interest rates. He should have risen. He should have made the interest rates rise. He should have talked to the Fed and say, hey, I want to make it. But he didn't want to do that because that would have hurt his economy.
Yeah.
He didn't do that. They did it under Biden. Every year that Biden was in office, they were saying, hey, this is a projected year. Not because of Biden, just because the economy hadn't been through a cleansing. And economies go through cleansings. That's what recession is. It's just cleaning out all the bullshit that they've been putting on the market. And so everyone expected that every year he was in office. And we haven't had that. We haven't had a recession at all. We've had nothing but job growth after job growth. Even if we were to take away the COVID job growth that he had, his job growth would still be better than Trump's.
Yeah.
Even if Trump didn't lose the jobs in COVID. So the comparison is not even there. So it's just the one thing that they can speak up. I'll give them possibly 2 things, man. 2 things that they can speak about. Now, one of them you can't even look at Biden on. One of them was just inflation.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't really look at Biden on that either, but there's policies that can be put in place to bring inflation, certain inflationary things, because not everything was inflation. Some of it was price gouging. This is one time Biden just said out there, man, the price gouging. He kind of said it because he knows what happened.
Yeah,
they price gouged the hell out of it.
Yeah.
Groceries, rent,
Have you
all
seen
that
the thing recently where the people they go back into their Walmart carts because you can reorder the same stuff, and they looked at it from 2 years ago, and it basically tripled. The price did.
Or nothing.
Yeah, about doubled, almost doubled.
For nothing. But now they can bring the prices down by 30%. There's a way to get rid of those things too. I'm sure Kamala will definitely address that.
How you feel about Kamala?
I mean,
it's all one piece. It's all one piece because Kamala has been nominated, or by Joe Biden.
This is what I've said before, and it may be just a personal thing, but I didn't like the way that she had spoken to certain like I said, journalists of color, but it could just be the way that she feels.
I won't do anything. I can't do anything specifically for black people. No.
But I love the fact that she said that, because if you really listen to what she said in this thing, she said basically she's being asked a question like, so what will you do specifically for black people? And that could, I don't know who's asking that question, but that's a catch-22 question.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What they're trying to catch you up is and say basically about 84% of the country you won't do nothing for, but this other 16% that you might. I think we're about 16, maybe 18, 15.
Well, they say we're about a good 23%, but a lot of us don't do the census.
23% is high. I don't think we're 23.
I know a lot of black people that don't do the census. I
don't think that would have to go all around the board though for everybody. You have to discount everyone who's not doing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't think that Mexicans are even 23%, and they're the second largest population in the United States right now. I don't think they're even that high just yet. But what I was saying was basically this right here. But even when she said that, what she's saying is, what she also said was, anything that I do for black people will be for all people, because whatever affects black people economically will affect them, will affect the rest of the population. So what she's really telling you, she's telling you what you need to hear if you can hear. If you can't hear, if we can't hear, I ain't saying you can't.
I heard it.
Me too. Because I ended up writing it down. Like we got to listen. What they say. What needs to be said don't always need to be explained. What they say, I forget how they exactly say it right now. But you know what I mean. Everything don't need to be explained. Pretty much. If you can hear what she's saying, she's telling you, I'm gonna fuck with y'all. And saying, but because I know that anything I do for you, we're gonna spend the money back in the community anyway.
Yeah.
So everybody's gonna eat regardless of what. So anything you do for any person is for all people. Because that's the way it goes. If you do something for a person with money already, they're probably not going to spend the money back in the economy. They're either going to save it or invest it somewhere else.
Do you feel Kamala has a good chance to win?
Right now, I feel like there's a lot of energy around her, which wasn't in the. I think that energy wasn't. Joe Biden didn't have that energy because he didn't exude that energy.
If Joe Biden had the energy, period.
I'm just saying,
he looked bad in that first debate.
If he's just gotten old on us, but he did a hell of a job. It's like, sometimes you got a hunting dog and that hunting dog. I'm not gonna put my hunting dog down because it can't hunt no more. But I'm gonna tell him, hey man, you might not go out on this hunt. Or you might just sit here with me and let the young dog go over and go get him.
11 years since he was vice president, and to being president was 11 years, and a lot can change in that time. He's an old man now, and they would say, hey, look at Sleepy Joe, and we'd be like, well, look how old Trump is, and now Kamala's a lot younger.
He's 59.
Yeah, 59
years old. This is. I mean, I really feel like they've been hitting Kamala with a lot of things.
Kamala. Did I call her Kamala?
Yeah,
Yeah, whatever.
Kamala. But
I'll
they've
get it
been
right
hitting
sooner
Kamala
or later.
with a lot of just talking about her. She's really tough on crime. She's put a lot of black people in jail. And what I told a person, this is the saying my mom always says to me. She used to tell me all the time. She's like, "You didn't fire that person. That person fired themselves." And that's just a fact. You know what I mean? Like, if they did something they weren't supposed to do, that's what crime is about.
Yeah.
If there's a law on the books and you put all these black men in jail, did she commit the crime? She didn't. We got to be honest here. Did she commit the crime? I'm not saying all of them were guilty. I'm not saying any of that kind of stuff.
Does Oakland have mandatory minimums? I know that some of the Midwest states have them, like St. Louis and stuff.
I'm not even sure what the crimes are that what they're saying that she went after. If there's a crime being committed, and this is what
they were saying, like, she locked up a lot of people over weed. Hey, guess what, folks? Weed used to be illegal. When I was a teenager, if you got caught with weed, your life was over. It didn't matter if it was a dime bag to a quarter.
And the biggest thing, aside from that, this is not me discounting the fact that now she also had stuff on the books too, where she had made second chance laws, a huge push for a second chance law, and they were basically saying you can't be a social service worker,
a prosecutor,
and a prosecutor, and a social.
You can't be
a social worker and a prosecutor. Yeah. They told her that because she had been pushing this second chance law, trying to get people to help people out. But greater than even that too. At the same time, I'm saying I feel like we can't push that on her. That that was her job. She was attorney general. That's your job as attorney general, is to create laws. But when we want to push back and say, okay, now look, she became a senator. I can't remember what year it was. It might have been 11 or 12 or something like that. She became a senator. Now look at where California is now. They got people running inside of restaurants, robbing people in broad daylight inside of a restaurant, like a nice restaurant in Beverly Hills.
Yeah,
we see these things. They're running inside stores 50 deep, stealing everything, busting out the the jewelry stuff because they've let their laws get so lax.
That's all across the country, though.
No,
I mean, I've seen videos. Like I saw the video of all
everywhere.
the white people running out of the Target, and the lady was running out with the lamps, and someone was joking like she had her eyes on that for a month.
I'm talking about like on a consistent basis.
It's all
How many times we
consistent.
seen
We
the
just see
Target?
it.
How
They
many
just
times
show
we seen
us-
the Targets getting ran up here? Let's be real. We're not seeing that, and that's not probably happening.
They got everything. They got the Walgreens where everything. I was watching this dude walk through Walgreens yesterday. He was like, "Look, everything is locked up at the suntan lotion."
Yeah, but I'm gonna be real. I'm seeing the crime has had a serious uptick since they've taken away. They basically have no bail law. Basically
crime has gone up in America because they're lenient on opiate use. That's the major reason crime has gone up in this country. Because the people doing opiates are European Americans, and they're high as shit. And the people don't want to get because that reminds me of my cousin, my friend. They've always been lenient on them, so they keep slapping them on the wrist.
But crime has not gone up though. They're saying by statistics, crime hasn't gone up.
Oakland's going to be Oakland. All right?
Oakland's going through it right now.
Oakland.
But you know what I'm saying? But like you got to look at the rest of Cali, Los Angeles,
LA going to be LA.
But we got to understand like them having laws to where you basically can commit a robbery and not get and basically don't have to bail out at all. You can just go. They might book you and release you. Come on, man. They got the dude who killed Pop Smoke. He did like 3 years.
Yeah, something
for
happened
murder.
With that. Yeah, he was a minor though.
Don't matter. You do 3 years for murder. I don't care if you're 15, 16, or 17. You're not doing 3 years for murder.
I know a dude just did 5 years for one.
For murder.
Yeah, but they charged him with something else. He was selling drugs or whatever, and the guy came to rob him, and he shot him.
That's different. That's self-defense. And he shouldn't. They probably charged him for the drug part.
They charged him for the drugs.
You know what I'm saying? That was a totally different situation. Okay, I'm talking about the person who came to your house to rob you with a gun, came in, caught you in the shower, and killed you.
Nope, got my gun in the shower with me. He'd be a part of the rug.
I'm just saying.
I'm getting out, wiping my feet in his blood.
Like, that's murder, bro. He shouldn't do no. You shouldn't do no 3 years for murder. I don't care what nobody say. Not murder like this. I mean, if it was different, if it was self-defense, that might be a little bit different. But back to Kamala. I like I say, I think she would be a strong president. To me, she has that. This is gonna sound kind of vicious, but it means something different when you're speaking about men. So I'm gonna say it even about women. She got that dog in her, man.
Yeah, no, she do.
She's a tough debater. She's tough when it comes to like basically she's prosecutorial when it comes to breaking somebody down. And she will break. I mean, for what her and Joe Biden did over these last 4 years, if Joe Biden had the wherewithal to get it done, he could destroy Trump in
Do you think America
in a debate?
Do you think America's ready to have a black female?
I don't even know if America's ready to have a female president.
I mean, think about last time they had their chance to have a female president. They didn't do it, and women lost reproductive rights.
I think she's going to be able to talk about that a lot. I think it's going to be up to black men too. I think it's really going to be up to us. I think we have a hard time as well as seeing like a black woman be president. I don't see why. I've heard people say it. I've heard a lot of people say the other side of it. Like we would love to vote for it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that we come out in droves. I hope we don't.
Somebody else said that they were saying black men ain't gonna elect. I be like, they're not gonna elect a black woman president. Like, what? You don't like your mama?
It sounds crazy to me.
But I mean, Kamala Harris is she's Indian, kind of Asian, and Jamaican, right? Mm-hmm. So I mean, if you think about it, she's basically like an American. She came here. It's like a melting pot. Parents fell in love.
Barack Obama.
Yeah, Barack Obama.
She's Barack Obama, man. Like the same thing. We call Barack Obama a black president because he identified with being black. She went to a HBCU. She's black, man. Period. She's Indian too. Her mama's Indian, but she's black. Her daddy's black.
Indians are black as fuck. The real Indian. They show you the light-skinned Indians.
Let's be real.
Indians are black as hell.
And if you choose to go to a HBCU, that means you're choosing your culture. It doesn't matter who she married. She married where she found love at. That's what happened. I bet she dated other people before that. That's life. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I'm not mad at her.
I like
about
my snow bunnies.
I'm not mad. Like I say, I'm not mad about her about
I like
who
my
she's
caramel
married,
sisters. Man.
This guy's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Hey, but
I like my lemon drops.
That she's gonna do a hell of a job?
I like to think about my love for women as the American border. I don't discriminate.
Do you think that she's gonna do a good job?
Maybe not. She'd probably do a better job than the other guy.
Who?
Speaking of Mr. Trump.
Talking about Trump?
Yeah. So I want to read a thing from it. It says it's gonna take a civil war. Trump's campaign speaker warns of violence if the Dems win. That was short-lived, wasn't it? To unify the nation. Hold on.
Unify the nation, huh? Wasn't it short-lived?
An elected politician from Ohio is warning that if Donald Trump doesn't win the 2024 election, it will mean civil war. State Senator George Lang was one of the warm-up speakers Monday at the Trump campaign rally, where Vice President J.D. Vance spoke solo for the 2024 GOP ticket for time.
Go ahead.
Lang, in sharp contrast, used his time at the Trump brand podium to warn of violence that could tear America apart. Lang, who represented nearby Hamilton, Ohio, took the stage shouting Trump's post-shooting battle cry, "Fight, fight, fight." And Lang insisted that America is in the fight for the soul of our nation and for our kids and our grandkids. He then uncorked his views on a looming partisan violence. "I believe wholeheartedly that Donald Trump and Butler's County J.D. Vance are the last chance to save our country. Politically," Lang said. "I'm afraid that if we lose this one, it's going to take a civil war to save this country."
They keep saying that, man. Like it's like they're really this mad where they want to fight but I gotta say, okay, it is what it is. But let's be honest here, man. J.D. Vance is a Manchurian Candidate. I'm pushing that agenda. I want people to go watch the Manchurian Candidate with Denzel Washington. I think there's another version of it that was made before this one, but a while back too. But go watch the one with Denzel in it. And have you ever seen that movie?
I think the newer one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, it is not super new. I don't know when it was made, probably early 2000 something. But anyway, J.D. Vance, this guy comes basically out of nowhere. He was in the military at one point in time. He was like an administrative. He went to Afghanistan and he was like administrative something. Like we just worked in the office and kind of pushed paperwork. But he went to Afghanistan. I didn't, so we'll give him his points for that. Then this guy goes and starts getting jobs with this. I forget the name of the donor that got him all the different jobs he had. I'll go back. He's a billionaire donor. He got him a job first with him working in some hedge fund kind of a place. He gets fired from there. He got him another job working with one of his buddies. They end up writing a little piece on him saying he barely ever worked. And then speaking about J.D. Vance, he gets let go from there. They give him another job. Basically, start him off with a fund with $150 million in it. This is all from this one billionaire donor. Okay, gave him a job, got rid of that one. Helped him get another job with another one of his billionaire buddies. Lost that job. And then give him his own hedge fund, basically, because I started my own business. No, what you did was you got $150 million from this hedge fund guy to start your own, this billionaire to start a hedge fund. That's what you did. And you basically ran that into the dirt, too, because you made some really bad trades with that. That's not, okay. So then after all that, he goes and makes the book Hillbilly Eulogy or something like that, which goes on to sell 3 million copies. Then all of a sudden, he's running for, he goes, kisses the ring of Donald Trump after he talked really, really greasy about Donald Trump, like bad, like to the point to where I'm not going to be cool with you no more if you said the stuff about me that he said about you. But they figured out there was a movement for them to be able to commandeer. If we can commandeer this MAGA movement, you look at him during the speeches, he doesn't fit MAGA, but he understands this movement right here is strong, and Trump needed somebody after him. So he goes and picks up J.D. Vance, the billionaire buddy, takes him in to go meet with Donald Trump face to face to kiss the ring. And basically, this is how he got the Senate seat, because then Donald Trump endorsed him for the Senate seat in 23. He's never run for public office before this. Never before, in no other public office, but you run for senator. Like, come on, that's a huge office to jump right into.
Yeah.
Who else never ran for public office before this?
Donald Trump.
Come on, man.
Who else started a bunch of businesses that weren't successful? Huh? Donald Trump. Who else got a loan to start a business and ran it into the ground?
Donald Trump. I mean, yeah. Let me look at the similarities between this also. You know, the last time that they had a switch of candidates right before or right during a
68.
DNC 68. Where was it at?
Chicago.
In Chicago. Where's the DNC at this year?
Chicago.
What's happening again? Switch of candidates. This had never happened before. Before Lyndon B. Johnson did it. Now it's happened again this time. This is not like, you got to look at these similarities. This is not me saying this conspiracy, but come on, man. Let's be real. You haven't had the DNC in Chicago since 68. Now all of a sudden you have it in Chicago this year again, and this happens again. Come on, man. This is not. You know
I think things are just a coincidence. But I mean, I got your Manchurian Candidate. They already did a test run on Trump trying to assassinate him, but J.D. Vance wasn't the vice president yet.
But he would have been the pick, though, because they would already had known that he was the guy in line. Heritage Foundation would have brought him in there and had him be the pick. Everyone would have coordinated him because he was Trump's pick to be VP.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? They already had the signs made. Trump had already, they would have talked about it like that. He's the next guy. Let's just go ahead and push him in. They know they can't control Trump. Remember, I said this before.
I've said that many times. Yeah. They know they can't.
Know, and so that would be
especially King Trump. You ain't telling that man.
A bigger reason than anything. Money controls Trump. That's what basically boy. People are gonna say, yeah, that's the best reason to have him. You got money controls him. He gets control. People can buy him. He can be bought. You don't ever want him to be president because he can be bought. It's the worst president we've ever had in history. But enough about that. I really hope.
I think George Bush was worse. I mean, Donald Trump was bad, but I just think George Bush was worse. 9/11 happened under his watch, and then we had a 20-year war because of George Bush, and the economy collapsed at the end of his stuff.
I'll give you that.
He let a dude throw a shoe on him, didn't even knuckle him up. They made a bronze. The guy threw the shoe at him. Then they made a bronze statue of the shoe.
He came in basically in January 20th, in 2001, right? That's when he got in office.
Yeah.
By September of that year, we had 9/11.
What if? Yeah. What?
You get what I'm saying? Like, is it him? I'm pretty sure they didn't just start planning for this 8 months before that. They probably was already in here getting it ready to go before it. But I feel like there was a reason they allowed this to happen. There was things put in motion that he could have prevented, but he wasn't taking care of. They did give him reports about this before it did happen. I get what you're saying. He ran into some of the worst crises, and he handled them the very worst. He got us into Iraq, like you said, which we could have just ended this with at Afghanistan. We should have.
And think about it, like it took Barack Obama to figure out, or the secret, all the soldiers and all the people that put the information out, that Osama bin Laden was in Pakistan the whole time.
Yeah, they
just watching with the binoculars. Oh, they are blowing that up right now. This is crazy. Come here, third wife. Yes.
The cool part about it is they probably knew where he was at. It just was they needed him to be out there in order to keep on doing whatever it is they were doing.
Well, remember they said mission accomplished. They're blowing up the mountains, thinking they blew them up.
Yeah.
After like 2-3 weeks, and they were like, "Why?" Everyone's like, "Why are we still here?" They're like, "Well, poppy fields."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty crazy, man. It just that's something that like I said, at the end of the day, man, I feel like Kamala they say she has enough delegates right now to become the Democratic nominee. She already secured enough delegates, so it should be a coordination. They should let her go ahead and do what she has to do and start running against Trump right now. No one else. I think she raised like $81 million.
$84 million.
Yeah, in like a 24-hour period.
Oh, Harris' campaign raises $81 million in 24 hours after Biden dropped out.
I mean, come on. Yeah, I mean, she's the one. Period. Plain and simple. She's the one right there, man. That's who I'm going with. Period.
Someone said Biden should just step down now, let her be the first black president, female president, so we can get it over with.
I don't know if that'll really work out for.
I mean, nobody's seen Joe Biden in a couple days. You said he called in.
He actually called in when she was giving a campaign speech. She's in Delaware right now, so she probably went and met with him on on one way or another. Went to Delaware to go meet with him, kind of see what's going on with him. I kind of assumed that this was going to be his opportunity to step away. We kind of talked about this already, like him catching COVID. Now he's sick, and this is a serious disease for a person who's older like that. I mean, I know they got better treatments for people who have a little bit more money, probably, but like I say, this is probably a great opportunity for him to step away.
Yeah. And then I got one. I want to talk about a Chinese actor was enslaved in a compound running online scams. For Zhu Bochu, left down and nearly out in Shanghai. This is serious, sir. Serious. By pandemic layoffs, a month of work as a movie extra in a balmy Southwest China sounded like easy money. It turned out to be anything but. Our men kidnapped the inspiring actor, then 37, last year after he showed up for what proved to be a fake part and marched him at knife point through the jungle and across the border of northern Myanmar. There, he was beaten and sold to criminals group running cyber scams, targeting victims with investment schemes and online romance. He was forced to spend 3 months duping people out of their money until his family paid a ransom for his release in October. I reported on this before. What about the people in Cambodia? The ones that got to call you and scam you. They're all think about it, they're taking people and putting them in slavery, and these are the people trying to scam your grandmothers, your grandpas, and stupid people that don't pay attention to nothing out of money.
This is
all
crazy,
the time.
man.
I get those texts all the time. I get those ones like, oh, it's like, are we still going out to dinner?
I get that too, man.
Yeah, right, all the time.
This is AT&T and all these phone companies selling our information, telling us they got hacked.
Yeah.
They selling our stuff, man. I'm getting so many scam calls. Everybody's scam likely, man. Everybody in my phone calls me nowadays. Most of the calls I get in any given day are from a scam likely.
I think it's fun. I answer them.
I don't answer that.
I love it
because half of
I love it. I like the ones they call. They be like, "Hello, yes, you've won an all expense paid trip to Cancun." I'm like, "Oh, I did. Oh goodness, can I bring my dog? His name's Roger."
Hey,
I'm like, if I can't bring Roger, I'm not coming. And then they talk for 10 minutes, right? Give you this whole spill about this all-inclusive trip or whatever, right? I was like, okay, hold on. Can I bring my blow-up doll? I can fit her in my suitcase. I'll pay the extra storage.
Hey.
I have luck with women. I'm about 325 pounds, but I'm only 4'11".
Listen. I had a person once call me and basically say and try to tell me that they were the IRS or something. They're going to send the police to my house because I'm listening to them like, First of all, IRS is not going to be talking like you talking to me right now. Like you talking to me in broken English, bro. You're not the IRS. Then when they call you, it's like this is IRS. You know what I mean? Like not even them talking. It's a computer thing, but as you can tell, it doesn't speak good English either. You know what I mean? Like this is crazy. I know you don't work for the IRS.
I got one. I was rolling with my cousin and my son, and we driving, and the guy's like, "Hello, this is John Smith. I'm coming from Amazon." He was Indian, so whatever, you're going to have to deal with it. So I was like, John Smith? I was like, yeah. I'm like, John Smith, where are you at right now? And he was like, I'm in Los Angeles, California. I'm like, you sure you're not in Bangladesh, India? He paused for a minute. He's like, fuck you, motherfucker. Your mother's a whore. I'm like, fuck you, bro. Your mom sells pussy for 2 rupees.
Jesus Christ. This is what we're doing here. This is what we're doing.
I'm just saying, bro. They be calling all the time. I play with them.
2 rupees.
Yo, I think they call me after a while just to be like, yo, you having a bad day? Call this guy. He's funny.
Hey, I'm telling you, man. Like you have no idea. I've had a bunch of conversations.
They call all the
people,
time.
Man.
I get text messages.
It's pretty crazy, bro.
Yeah, I remember one time. Hold on, I'm gonna let it go after this one. My homeboy calls me. He's like, yo, I messed up. I was online and I was trying to download a porno and it said young woman orgasm shaken. And he's like, he clicked it and his whole screen turned red and they wanted him to pay money to get rid of the virus. It's all about a scam.
Do you know that? You ever seen the movie Beekeeper?
Yeah.
That's what happened to Felicia Rashad on Beekeeper.
Yeah, she gave all her money to him.
Yeah, it's tripping. You know what I mean? I've seen, all you got to do is turn your computer off, turn it back on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That
movie's weird, though. Like,
we're not gonna get into it. But
no. Let's get into it. That movie was weird.
I don't want to. You know, go ahead.
He ain't make nary honey. First of all, he brought her some honey. That's cool. Yeah, he works out of the shed. Jason Statham I like him in action movies, but some things just no.
Getting into the outage we had over the last week, man. Calls to end Microsoft's monopoly after global outage wreaked havoc last week. Consumer and digital rights groups are calling for big tech monopolies to be broken up following Friday's global Microsoft outage that grounded flights and caused chaos at banks, media companies, and mass transit around the world. The advocacy group Next Gen Competition said, for decades, Microsoft's pursuit of a vendor lock and strategy has prevented the public and private sectors from diversifying their IT capabilities. Millions are feeling the consequences of greed and ego of one of the most egregious offenders in big tech.
Yeah, no, a lot of those tech companies need to be broken up. And think about it, Elon Musk is right behind doing all that stuff too. Think about it, he owns X, he owns the satellite systems, and he owns the Tesla trucks. Like, he can kind of just monopolize on it. But
put the chips in people.
Yeah, and they're putting them on their arms. And we knew technology, the more convenience it is, the easier they can control us. But this, airlines were shut down.
Everything.
Computer systems, like my computer systems at work, as I work at McDonald's, they were down also. I like being a McDonald's worker.
Everything was down. It felt like I'm looking around. It didn't affect, like I said, it didn't affect me at all. But it did affect a lot of people.
It affected a lot of people, and it affected. Some people were trying to check their banks, and they couldn't get into their banks. It was a lot of stuff going on. Think about it, like I said, I think it was a dry run. Think about it, or was it a dry run? Someone forgot. It's like a little conspiracy thing. Think about it. They tried to assassinate Donald Trump, right? Someone did, and then they tried to shut down everyone technology-wise from this update.
Yeah,
So
cyber strike.
Yeah, cyber strike. They're saying it was just an update error. That's a big error.
That's a huge. You lost trillions of dollars that day. Trillions of dollars were probably lost in one day. Yeah, in one day, at least hundreds of billions, but probably around the world. Come on, man.
And it shows us all
everyday commerce,
how easy it is to
shut
that's
down
why I tell
the
people,
entire system, man.
I don't want a smart house. Give me an old school house. You get a smart house, right? You can control how to turn your lights, your heat,
everything,
all that stuff, right? But when they decide to come get you, press a button and shut you down.
If you almost have to have a system that's integrated, just that only you can control.
I've seen a cop go up to one of those doors where you put the door code in, and just held the phone up to it, pressed the button, and the door unlocked. Man, I'm seeing technology. It's the more convenience, the easier it is to control us.
Yeah, they're making cars like that too, so they can basically take your car when they want to take your car, stop your car when they want to stop your car.
They got the thing now where if you don't pay your bill, like if you're buy a Tesla and you don't pay your car bill, the car just drives back. Imagine you on a date and you just like, yo. Someone steal my car, and they text you like, nah, you broke ass motherfucker.
Hey, and on top of that, man, they can, like, if you're in a high-speed chase or something like that, not saying a person should be in a high speed, but if they are, they can stop your car.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? While you're in,
they made that real, they have those now. Remember, I don't know if people seen this, the second Fast and Furious movie. They were in the chopper or whatever, and they shot the car and, like, turned it off with the electrical thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have those now.
I mean, they can do it manually.
Yeah, they could.
Like, from, not manual, but like they can do it over.
Imagine you go pick up a beautiful woman and you driving down the road and you be like, oh, the car just took over for me, and it drives you back to the dealership.
Hey, that should be an option on your car. You should be optional to be able to take that, man.
Crazy.
But,
hey, one thing too, I want to report on before we go. They finally released the body cam footage of Sonia Massey, the lady that was murdered in her home in Illinois. And the body cam footage, for me, I think I got one thing wrong. I thought his partner was outside, but actually his partner was in the home. And his partner that didn't shoot, his body cam footage picked up the shooting. Because the other cop that did the shooting had his body cam footage, had his body cam off.
Had his body cam off.
And so it says they have the indictment out, and the indictment states that the experts likened the scenario to an officer initially and unnecessarily putting himself in front of a moving vehicle and then justifying the use of force because of fear of being struck. And it says the reason you can see it very well in the body cam is because the shooter, again, against department policy, had his camera off. The officer whose cam was on did not fire at the woman, presumably because he did not believe it was reasonable to do so.
It didn't make any sense, man. Like when you really look at it, he walks in the house. They're talking to her because she called the police.
He's talking to her with an attitude.
Yeah, and and she's like, she's talking about, let me get my Bible. She's obviously a religious woman. You know what I mean? She's very, very religious, and she's talking about, I need to get my Bible. He's like, well, let's get your ID. Let's do one thing at a time. This, that, and third. She's probably a little bit all over the place. She said
she's nervous. She thought somebody was trying to break into her home.
Intruder in her home. And so she called the police. They came over. Then they're like, oh, there's a pot on the stove. Hey, let's get this pot taken care of. Let's turn this.
The cop told her to go
do it. So she goes over to go take the pot off the stove. Takes the pot off the stove. Goes to the sink, and they kind of back up. She's like, oh, what's wrong? She's like, oh yeah, we just want to be careful. We want to get the pot thrown. And she's like, oh, we don't want that hot steaming water thrown on us. She was like, oh, well, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus, which is something that people who are religious
She's like, she was joking with them.
People say I rebuke. That's a normal. I've heard that a lot of times when they think about evil spirits and stuff like that. That's what people say who are in church. People who are in church, if you guys don't know what that means, then you don't go to church. I've heard it so many different times from different, that's just an old school saying. And then she was like, you better not, or I'll shoot you in your face. That's what he said to her. Like, what do you think rebuking you means that she's going to throw the water on you? She didn't even insinuate that. Dude just went 10. The other dude didn't say nothing about that. He pulls his gun out, so his partner pulls his gun out.
He said, if you throw that water at me, she's like,
I'll shoot you in the face.
He said, I'll shoot you in the fucking face. Shh. And then she put it down, put her hands up, and then she got shot.
And fell on the ground. I think she fell to the ground and put her hands up. He walked around the corner and shot her 3 times, bro. There was no reason for him to shoot that woman at all, man. And you got, I think his name is J.D. Prisker.
And he could have tased her.
You wouldn't even need to tase her. She didn't do anything wrong. She called you, and then you asked her to put the water down. She's dumping the water in the sink, and she says, I rebuke. If that was a white lady who said, I rebuke you, he would have took, my mom says that to me all the time. He would have laughed about it. That's the truth. We can sit back and say it's not a race thing. That was very, 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 very much a race thing.
Oh, yeah, totally.
He walked in the house. He murdered that woman. That's why he was arrested so quickly and charged with murder.
And that's why you see it now. It's like you'll see somebody and they'll be black. They'll get pulled over and they'll just start shooting at the police. And you'll be like, well, why did he do that? Be like, because he knew what it was.
Period.
You pulled me over. I didn't do nothing. Oh, I see what you do. You're coming to kill me.
Exactly. I mean, people don't realize. You say, well, you didn't do anything, then you shouldn't have nothing to worry about. This is what we worry about right here. You act like people aren't. I'll be worried if I get pulled over by the police for anything. I'm worried. I'm showing my hands, the whole nine, which you guys don't have to think about that. You could damn near be like, why the hell did you pull me over? With no problem. Nobody's going to worry about that shit.
I don't know more. The cop walks up to my car. I have my back window down. I'm like, officer, I want to let you know I have a concealed carry license from the county, and my pistol is right here on the seat.
I don't know. Listen, you real bold, ain't you?
No, I'm honest with him. I'm honest. One time I got pulled over by a cop. I like California stopped the stop sign, and he pulled me over, and he's like, you ran a stop sign. Why'd you do it? I was like, well, first of all, I didn't see you. And then second of all, I was like, my car's out of gas. I'm just honest with them. But some cops are just dicks.
Yeah.
They come for people and stuff, so.
But yeah, I'm like, man, it was crazy just watching that video, man. Like, that was the most, black and white that I've seen a lot of black. I mean, even with Philando Castile, that was black and white too. It's like, you could just see this is what happened. But this was crazy. I thought there had to have been something, but this dude was, he's done this before. We need to go look at all his past records, everything he's done, everyone he's put in jail, and put a microscope under that shit right there. Go to his department and start looking around at his partners, not just his partners, the people in that department, because he felt comfortable as hell doing that way. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't have felt comfortable. Well, his partner didn't feel comfortable. You should have saw. You know what happened? I watched the video cam footage when they walked outside. I saw police officers getting out the way, trying to keep their face out of his body cam. I don't even want to. There's probably about 20-something cops outside the house, just standing outside. They didn't even walk in. They don't want nothing to do with this shit. They're like, shit. His partner's probably like, man, this motherfucker is tripping. When he murdered, he told immediately. He said because he said don't help her. He like his partner wanted to help her. He's like, nah, don't even bother helping her. But the partner went and got a towel, started helping her the whole nine. He was like, the partner told on him immediately, like this, he killed.
Yeah, of course, because he gonna go down with him. You don't want to. You don't
like he told everybody else, like, yes, this is what's about to happen. And the rest of the police, normally they're running all around doing extra stuff. They were like ducking away from his camera. I watched it. Go watch the rest of the footage when they walk outside around the cops. What they're doing, how they're moving away and kind of moving their heads away from them, not even looking at them. They don't even want to be involved because they know this is what Donald Trump wants to get rid of. He wants to give them immunity to do shit like this and just get it and walk away from it with no problems. Don't even charge him. He probably let this guy go.
He probably will. He probably he's like he's a good cop. They'll make up some excuse like she shouldn't have the water boiling before they got in there, and he'll probably pardon him.
The governor went in there and said immediately, like, I'm not sure if he can because it'll be a state case and it's a governor. The governor there is he's J.D. Pritzker. He's a Democrat, so I don't think if it's a state case he can. If it's federal he can. So that's the one thing about that. But the governor went in there and immediately was like, hey, we're putting him in prison. I think it might have been like 2 weeks after it happened. If they got the body cam footage, put him in prison, and they didn't drop the footage from the body cam until today, which is Monday, because they probably understood how outraged people would be. You don't
want no people. Yeah, because I mean, if you would have dropped it within 2 days, and they would have saw you guys the way you murdered that lady like a dog, and she called you for help. Please
let me. Rep. Sheila Jackson Lee dies after battle with cancer. Rep. Sheila Jackson Lee, a Democrat of Texas, has died at the age of 74 after a battle with cancer, her family announced on Friday. Today, with incredible grief for our loss, yet deep gratitude for the life she shared with us, we announce the passing of United States Representative Sheila Jackson Lee of the 18th Congressional District of Texas, her family said in a statement. A local, national, and international humanitarian, she was acknowledged worldwide for her courageous fights for racial justice, criminal justice, and human rights, with special emphasis on women and children, the statement said. Jackson Lee announced in June that she had been diagnosed with pancreatic cancer and was undergoing treatment. The longtime Congresswoman served in the House since 1995 and leaves a legacy of pushing for legislation related to civil rights. Jackson Lee was a lead sponsor of the Juneteenth National Independence Day Act, and she pushed for Sentencing Reform Act of 2015, as well as the George Floyd Law Enforcement Trust and Integrity Act. She was also a huge opponent of the Iraq War. She was one of the only people standing on business for, like, we shouldn't be going into Iraq when everyone else was scared and had to basically huddle up behind the Republicans and go into a foreign country which we had no right to go into and take out a foreign leader who was basically could have kept that country probably in a much more stable place than where it's at right now. And I really respect her for that. I think she was the first black woman from her district first black woman to get that position of representative from that district that she's from. And we just want to, give our condolences to the family. And she was part of the Black Congressional Caucus, and I hope they appoint someone to her seat up until that's another Democrat and who's also a black woman.
Yeah. Condolences to her family. We're going to see you guys next time. This is Uncommon Courtesy.